Well, hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the build series on the pup. Yeah, I'm just going to do little bits and pieces on what I'm actually doing to the trailer. I've identified most of the problems now, but I'm not going to go through them. I'm just going to show you as I do them. So the first problem we have, or one that I've identified, is that there is my bed. And underneath, of course, is the battery box. I've had to swap out the battery because the old one was definitely dead. But what you've got to do is you've just got to shove this battery in behind this framework here. So it's quite difficult with the quite heavy AGM battery. But I am actually going to change to lithium battery in the next couple of weeks. But I'm going to make this panel here so it can come off. And then I can just lift that up, take it out, and get to the battery box without having to drag it out. Plus, it'll open up a lot more space in here, so I can put some small stuff in there for storage. So, but anyway, first of all, I've got to take out screws, and I've got to cut along here, and then cut along there. And I've got to watch it down here because I've got all the electrical wire in here. So. But as long as we mark it out and be careful, we should be fine. Got it marked out up there, so I just use my circular wood saw, and that should give me a nice access area. Also got to pull this piece here out too. Yeah, that's no good. I'll figure out some other way of holding the battery down, I think. Yeah, well, that worked nicely. So I cut a piece of this out here as well, and then be able to fit one, possibly two lithium batteries in there. I've just got this part here tie it all down now. Yes, well, that worked very nicely. Got a couple of old hinges there, a bit mismatched, but they did the job. It's all I had in my little scrap box. But yeah, at least now that I can access the battery compartment quite easily now, so perfect. So that's all the battery tidied up, and it came up well. Yeah, really surprising. And I had a bonus. I actually, while I was doing all that, I found a fuse in the back. Underneath some stuff that runs the 240, because I thought there was no 240, so I flicked that on, so I've got 240 power now. So the next thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to put this plug here, this Anderson 2 plug, into the side. So I need this here because what I'm going to do is one is going to be for solar and one is going to be for an outlet, so that I can run a battery charger on it. Just in here. So after a lot of measuring and thinking about it, where to put it, I've decided to put it right there. Yeah, I butchered it a bit, splintered it, but when it's in position you won't see those things anyway, so. So there we go. I have got the battery charger or power supply for a fridge connected, and I've got the cable there that will go up through there into the solar controller. Power's on, 12.9. That solar controller there will be scrapped. I'll be buying a better one than that. Okay, well, I'm on to day 2 now, and I've just got to try and figure out this wiring here. I believe these shambles here, which are just connected, they go from the solar controller to the battery. That's obviously the solar in, but then he's got power coming from the battery to this thing here. which is fine, but he should have it actually out of the solar controller. And then he's got a earth here with a fuse in it. Weird setup. Yeah, I've got to tidy this one. This one here is what plugs into the inverter and gives 240 to the TV. So yeah, got to do some sorting out here. Well, the weather's turned a bit nasty here, so it's a good day to be working in the shed. So I've got that all tidied up now. Looks a lot better, and certainly got rid of a lot of wiring that just wasn't needed. So that's a light working on this side, so that's good. I'm working. But I'm going to try and figure out what's going on this side now. So yeah, I've got the same light here on this side, but it doesn't work, and there's wires hanging here, and there's a switch over here that operates a light on here, but I don't know whether that's kaput. I've got to try and figure out where the wiring's going. I might have to run new wiring through. We shall see. But I'm definitely keeping that light. Don't know about that one. So from what I can figure out, this here is a 12 volt power coming in, but the rest of the wiring, they've just twitched it together and put a bit of electrical tape around it. It is shit house. I'm going to tidy all that up. And there we go. I didn't do any videoing of the actual fit out because it was quite tricky, and I just had all sorts of trouble. I wired it up once, I had to unwire it again. So, but as you can see, it's pretty tidy up there. And we've got it all working, got the light there working, and we've got that light up there working as well. Now I had to rip off the strip that was there because obviously that was fried, but luckily I had this one off my old trailer, and this black cable I'm going to paint the trailer anyway, so that'll all get painted over. So yeah, looking good now. So what we've got here is we've got that power point there, which is 240 volt, which comes in via this outlet there, which is when you go to a caravan park, but I'm not going to run on that all the time, probably hardly ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount a plug up in here, probably in there, and then I'm just going to run a cable up through there, in through there, down there, along there, and in through those holes there, which goes out to the electrical side of the pup. Well, all the wires go in behind here and I can't get to it, so got to remove 4 screws and hopefully that box comes away. And there we go, just in there. That's where the cables go through. I think I've got enough room to get both cables through, so let's see if we can poke them through from that side. I'm not going to be able to get the cable through there because that's up underneath there, so, and that one's full, so I'm going to drill a new hole here, and I'm probably going to have to drill a new hole on this side as well. Okay, well, this here is the cable for the extra solar panel. Now, oh, here we go. See if I can get it up through here. I think I'm asking a bit much here. No, not going to be able to get that up there. I might run a cut down here with a knife, and then got some black cloth tape to put over it. Yes, I wasn't going to get that through there, that's for certain. Well, after a couple of attempts, and then I rethreaded it through that piece of conduit there and up through there. Yep, definitely cutting it and got it up through there, no problem. Okay, well, I didn't show much of the actual putting of the wiring in because it was just too complicated and everything, but I've got a cable going out that way. That one is going to go to a 12 volt USB plug, and yes, I did cut that and just put some tape over that, and then I've got cables coming down through here. I managed to get 2 through that conduit, but the USB cable, yeah, couldn't get that in, so I'll just have to take some straps off here and put it under there. And then I managed to get it inside that conduit there and up through there. So on this stage, this place over here, I'll have enough cable going down to the power point down here for the inverter, and then I've got that for the 12 volt USB plug there. So around this side, we have power for the inverter, and that's power going back from the inverter to the opposite side for the kitchen power point. That one there's 2 power points inside the bedroom for the TV. I'm going to fix that up for certain. That is shocking. I don't know what's under there. Then we've got solar coming in on that one. That one there is going to be to the USB inside the bedroom, and that one there will be the USB to the kitchen. And there we go, all wired up now. Everything's working. Just got to put the 12 volt USB in there. Now I have 240 volts if I'm on the caravan park, but I got 240 volts coming via the 2000 watt inverter. So today I got the Renogy 2000 watt inverter has arrived, so I'm going to mount it up in here. This mirror might have to come off. But yeah, the other thing is these cables here that power the other inverter, yeah, they're not going to be enough. So I'm going to have to put in new cable, which these ones aren't long enough to get to the battery. So I'm going to have to probably go into town at some stage and get myself some new cable. But I can get it mounted up, and I can get the 240 volt leads all connected up. So there we go. I got my both cables, one inside to the cabin for the TV, and one over to the kitchen area for where I'm going to run a kettle and an induction cooker. I've had to pull that out again to get to the cable so that I could remove the old power cable for the inverter, because it's not big enough for the inverter now. So I thought, yep, I'll tidy it all up in here. So I had to pull this cable here out. This was the power cable for the inverter, and it was all wrapped up in here. Not too bad, nice and neatly in there like that. So I pulled these 2 pieces of wood which were covering up a couple of cables in here, which would have been probably wired in first when they first put the trailer together, and then they wired up all the lights for the trailer, and then they started putting in power cables. So I'm looking at it, and when I pulled this out, I found this cable here, over to here and cut. And I thought, well, that's strange, what's that going? Anyway, when I looked at it, there was this screw straight through it. So I thought, oh God, I hope that's not a power cable, but it wasn't. It's a 7-core wire, so it's obviously for the trailer lights. So they wired up all the trailer with the trailer lights. Then they put the 240 power in and everything else, and they screwed these cables here via these saddles into that wood that was over the top of the cables and straight through that cord. So instead of trying to figure out what they'd done wrong, they just put in another 7-core wire for the trailer lights. So I picked up some 6-gauge wire today to run from the inverter down through there. Now, I know people are going to probably comment on it, and I hope they don't, about how I should move the inverter close to the battery. Well, I can't, and that's it. So I've got to do what I've got to do. So I've got to stagger the cables. So round about there, I've got to cut that. I'm waiting on a fuse, big 250 amp fuse for the inverter, so that's only coming tomorrow, so I can't do anything with that today. But I've got these little Nava USB plugs, two of them, one white, one black, one inside the bed cabin. I reckon I'll put that one there. Actually, I might cut that out and mount that there. That'll be better. Yep. I was going to mount that up here somewhere and put the phone in there, but I think I'm actually going to mount it here. Okay, well, I think I'll just mount it there. I'll just probably super glue that down, but I won't do it yet. I'll make sure I've wired it up and it's working first before I stick it down. The other thing that I got with the inverter, I got this remote switch, so thought I might just mount that somewhere like that. Then when I'm watching my TV at night, I can just, if it's raining and shitty, I can just turn my inverter off from in here. There we go, that's the first one wired up. There we go, working perfectly. Oh yeah, perfect. So I've got to put two wires in here because I will be running a pressure pump from a water tank. And now we come around here to make sure that it's working. There we go, charging my phone. So both USBs are up and running. So after 2 weeks, I finally got my 120 amp hour lithium battery and the 20 amp solar controller. So the first thing to do is remove my old AGM battery and put that one in, and then wire up the solar controller, and my electric system is complete. Now I've got to take this controller off and put the new one on, which means I've got to take out all these wires and then put them in. But these two wires are for the solar panels that are fixed onto the pup, and this one here is for an auxiliary one where I can put in an extra blanket. So I'm going to have to figure out a way of putting these together, this one and this one together, and then wiring them to that. So there we go, it's telling me that battery's at 78%, 25 degrees Celsius, 13.2 volts. There we go, she is wired up. Well, that's the electrical done. And at this stage, I'm not going to modify it. If I find that I need more battery, I can just put another 120 amp hour onto that and see how it goes. But at this stage, with everything I've got, I'll leave it at that. So yeah, I'm going to call it quits now on this video, the electrical. This video here is not a how-to on how you should build an electrical system. It's just showing you how I did the build to my best of my ability. If I got things wrong, fine, tell me what it is. But I'm happy with the King's gear I've used. It seems to be working alright. I can always modify the system and put another battery on it, but I want to see how it goes first on my first trip, and then I'll make my decisions further down the track. So anyway, if you like this video, consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll see you into the next video on part 2 of the build.